Good morning or good afternoon, coaches. This is Coach Anthony Williams, founder and CEO of Connected Athletics. We are a startup company based here in Austin, Texas. We are focused on using technology to create a platform to allow student athletes to connect with other student athletes, to allow student athletes to connect with college coaches during the recruiting process. And we are really focused on helping student athletes successfully transition from high school to college to either a career in the pro game or into a career, hopefully dealing with their major. We've got another exciting prospect on the podcast today. He is a 2021 quarterback out of Veterans Memorial down in South Texas, 6'2", 195 pounds, great GPA of 4.0, 24 on his ACT. He's a leader in his school. Carter Senterfitt. Carter, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, sir.
Carter, how you doing today?
Good. How are you, Coach?
Well, good. Let's jump right in. It's good to have you on here. I've heard a lot of good guys tell me that I need to get you on the show, and so I'm really happy that you're here. We are obviously starting to reopen from COVID-19. Tell these coaches what you've been doing to stay in shape as you get ready for the fall season.
So I've been doing a lot of kind of home stuff. I've been working out at my aunt and uncle's house. They have a little squat rack. Just kind of doing what I can, going to the field with my receivers every now and then, just getting them to catch some footballs. So just kind of getting the basics down, getting stronger, start putting more in as we get closer to football season.
Okay. Are you getting a chance to throw a little bit and work on your arm or work with your receivers or no?
Yeah, a couple times a week, me and my receivers will go out to the school in the morning, and we'll just really just work on just catching passes, getting as many balls in their hands as they can, get used to it.
Okay. Well, Carter, let's jump right in. I'm going to bring up your huddle video, and I want you to turn to Tony Romo right now and kind of commentate to some of the plays in your video, who you're playing, what the situation was, what you're thinking, and just let these coaches know, kind of your mindset as a quarterback at your high school. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let me know when you see your video now. Should be coming up.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Okay, I'm going to hit play. It's probably going to be a little choppy, but go ahead and just commentate and let us know what's going on. Here we go.
We're playing Churchill. This is a pretty good 6A team out of San Antonio. Yeah, it was a third down on this play. We needed a big play, and we were excited about this play. We had this one set in. We're going to have our slot run a post over the middle. This is probably the biggest game of the season right here in Miller. Right there. I probably think this is one of my best passes of the season, personally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I felt pretty good after that one. I believe we were playing San Antonio Veterans Memorial right there. That was a pretty big play. It got us going a little bit, started the game. This is a fourth quarter drive, I believe, against Miller, the first time we played him, to send it to overtime.
Carter, one of the things that impresses me as you watch these clips is your footwork in the pocket and your patience in the pocket. Talk to us about the importance of that and the accuracy of your throws.
Well, I think personally a big thing about being a quarterback is not panicking. So, I mean, once you start panicking, getting flustered in the pocket, completely shuts down your mind, makes your decision-making a lot worse. So I think it's good to just be kind of calm and let yourself kind of go over the decision before. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just –
Yeah. I'll tell you the other thing that impresses me is your footwork in the pocket, which leads you to be very accurate. A lot of your throws, receivers are not reaching back, high or low or behind them. You're very accurate in your throws.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most important thing for a quarterback is be able to put the ball where it's supposed to be. I mean, if you can't do that, then it's something I work on.
Carter, that impresses me. At first, when I first saw your video a few times when I evaluated you, I thought you had sneaky speed. And then now the more I watch it, it isn't sneaky. You literally just can outrun guys. I mean, it's very impressive. Tell us about you in the running game a little bit.
Yeah, well, I thought the running game was going to be a big part of my game this year before I had some ankle injuries. So it really didn't help that much. It forced me to be in the pocket a little bit more. But this year I'm hoping to get my ankle back to 100% so I can run the ball a lot more.
Okay. Another thing that jumps out about your film is that your offensive line is pretty darn good. They set a pretty good pocket for you. Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with the O-line.
Yeah, so a lot of our O-line this last year graduating, so we're going to have a lot of new guys coming in, but it was a lot of dudes this last year who have been in the system since freshman, and they know what they're doing. So we're gonna have a lot of young guys coming up this year. I think some talented guys too, so should be pretty excited for that.
Okay. Well, let's come back here. Very impressive film, and obviously one of the things that led to your recent offer, I guess, yesterday. Congratulations on the Valpo offer.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about that offer, the recruiting process, and how you're experiencing it so far.
So, I mean, it's probably been the most it's ever been before recently over this last spring, recruiting wise. And I did pick up my first offer last night, which is super exciting. That's awesome. And knows what I've been working for is kind of coming together now. So, yeah, but I mean, I've been communicating with some coaches a little bit. So hopefully that gets rolling. And
okay. Yeah. Well, let's get into that. So let's talk about the most important part of recruiting, which is the academics. You've got the very strong GPA of 4.0, and you've got 26 ACT. You're a member of the National Honor Society. Tell us about the importance you put on your academics.
Well, I mean, my main goal in life, I guess, is to first get a good job, get a good degree, so I have something to fall back on. Football's there. I have dreams to play football at the highest level, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's academics are probably going to get me where I want to go, get me into a good school. So that's pretty much my plan.
Okay. Does it matter to you what level you play at? Or are you more focused on maybe some of them because you've got the great transcript? Are you more interested in Ivy League and some of the A5 schools, or are you wide open?
Say it again, Coach.
I was wondering if you're showing some serious interest in the Ivy League schools or the academic 5 schools, or are you wide open to any school no matter what division, what level?
Oh, yeah. And I'm just honestly, I think I want to get the best education I can. So if football can do that for me, then I would love to go to an Ivy League school or just a school that can give me a good education, a good degree.
Okay. Do you have a favorite subject? Are you a math guy, science, English? What are some of your favorite subjects?
I'd say math probably is my best subject. Never been much of a science guy, but yeah, growing up, I've always been pretty good at math. I mean, at least I think I am.
Do you have an idea what you're going to major in when you get to the college level?
Yeah, I've always been interested in kind of the petroleum engineering, oil field kind of stuff. My dad's done that growing up, so I'm kind of familiar with it.
Okay. And then tell me a little bit, life after football. Fast forward here about 7, 8 years. What would you like to be doing now that when football's over? What kind of career? You want to run your own business? Do you want to work for a Fortune 500 company? What are your plans?
I think my main goal is to be the boss. Run my own business. That's probably really what I want. Yeah, be successful. Okay.
Take this time right now, Carter, to shout out a couple of your teachers who have helped you maintain this very excellent transcript of 4.0 and the 2016 ACT. Is there anybody at your school, teacher, advisor, AP, that you want to shout out right now?
Yeah, I actually have 2 of my favorite teachers. Well, they weren't my teachers one from sophomore year, one from freshman year. Miss Mazza, my chemistry teacher, and Miss Lawrence was my algebra teacher freshman year. I think they're 2 of the best teachers I've ever had. Yeah, they really helped me understand it probably better than any teacher I've ever had, just the subject. Okay. Thank you to them.
You're going into your senior year. What would you tell yourself as a freshman now that you didn't know back then? What is one of the main things that has helped you be a successful student athlete as a senior that you said, man, I wish I knew that as a freshman?
I think a lot of it is probably just maturity. I wasn't as mature. I mean, even my junior football season, just kind of just small things. Just letting myself stay calm in situations. But I think now that I've been getting older, so I'm a little more mature. I can kind of see it from a different perspective, just different things. It helps me play quarterback better too. I just don't get so flustered all the time, and I can calm myself down.
Well, it's a good point. A lot of people would say, with me playing the game and coaching for a long time in college, quarterbacks get too much credit when the team wins and too much blame when they lose. Tell us how you manage those highs and lows as a quarterback.
Well, I mean, my whole life, I guess I've kind of been hard on myself. Like I put the blame on myself a lot. So, I mean, yeah, quarterback, it does suck when you lose because, all the blame's on you. I mean, it's good when you win too. But, that's just really been a big part of my high school quarterback career is just a lot of my maturity and kind of knowing, like, what to do and, like, during a loss, what to do during a win, how to act, how to – betray yourself onto your teammates, stuff like that.
Okay. We'll switch gears here. Let's talk about you as a player now. Tell us what you consider your strengths and some of the things you're going to work on constructively going into your senior year.
I think my strengths are experience. I've played football at the varsity level a little since my freshman year, a little bit. So I probably have more experience than most people on the field, so I kind of know what's going on a little bit more. And another thing, I've been working on my running a lot more this year, kind of getting faster, getting over my ankle injury. So I think that's going to be a bigger strength in my game, is being able to run the ball.
Okay. You said you played varsity as a freshman. There's a lot of eighth graders come into their freshman year at Veterans Memorial. What piece of advice would you give those eighth graders who are going to try and make varsity as a freshman? What's the one thing you learned in that process?
Well, so my freshman year, I didn't play varsity the whole year. I started off in freshman ball, and once we started getting later into the season, I started getting a few snaps at quarterback. But what I would tell a lot of guys coming to eighth grade, it's not easy coming in from eighth grade, playing against all those big high school dudes. So, I mean, some guys are capable of it. But, yeah, I mean, if that's what you really want to do, you gotta work your ass off, yeah.
Right. Tell us how, over the 4 years now, how do you prepare for games as a quarterback? Are you a film guy? Are you a scouting report guy? Do you sit down with a coordinator? Tell us how you prep each week for big games.
Yeah, I watch a lot of film on not so much my film. I mean, I'll go over my film a little bit after games, but I watch a lot of the other players' films. I try to, more than the main scheme they run, I try to look at mannerisms of individual players, like, oh, is the safety gonna bail? Like, what is he gonna do? Just kind of look at their mannerisms and then work my game plan off of that. So that's what I do a lot for football games this year. I mean, another thing is just kind of, because I get super nervous and get hopped up before football games, so just calming myself down is another big thing.
Okay. Tell us, college coaches are always interested in understanding the player's relationship with their coaching staff. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your position coach and your head coach.
Well, I've always been pretty close to my head coach. He's also my position coach, Coach Schemper. Yeah, I mean, he's known me. I've known him since probably my seventh grade year. I was in middle school, and he's always been there looking after me, talking to me. He's showed me how to play the game of football in a whole new different way, how to play quarterback in a different way. So, I mean, I owe a lot to him. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And are you at a point now this year, or maybe even last year, are you at a point where you can make changes to call you able to audible and say, Coach, I see this look, I'm going to go with it, or that's still something you're working on?
Yeah, I mean, last year was my first year starting at quarterback, so I was kind of new to it, I guess, getting into the system. I mean, I could here and there if I really wanted to, but usually I believe we had the right stuff called. Coaches had it covered. I mean, this year, yeah, I guess that's part of it. If I really think I should see something, I just kind of need to be a general on the field, call it. So, I mean, that's something I'll also go over with our coaches.
Well, Carter, tell us the quarterback position itself just obviously needs leadership. Tell us, how do you define leadership and how you plan on leading your team this year as a senior?
Well, I mean, I think all leadership really is if do you have the ability to make these guys around you believe in you. So I think all the dudes on our team believe in me. I believe in all those guys. So, yeah, going out of the field, if they feel comfortable playing with me, then I know that I've done a good job being a leader. So that's, going into the season, that's going to be a big thing, is leadership.
Okay. One of the things that, as a former linebacker, I always tell young quarterbacks like yourself is when you really want to engage full leadership. I remember when I played with my quarterback in college, whenever the defense came off the field after a big stop, the first person that was shaking our hands wasn't the coach, it was our quarterback. And so it was good to see he was engaged and not just sitting on the bench drinking Gatorade waiting to throw the ball. So add that into your repertoire. There's nothing more than when your defense guys see, hey, our quarterback not only cares about himself and his stats, but he cares about us in the field. So just something to add as you go through your leadership growth. Let's talk a little bit about who do you pattern your game off of? What are some of the quarterbacks you're like, hey, I'm trying to incorporate more, whether it's Drew Brees or Patrick Mahomes, or who is it that you pattern your game off of?
Honestly, it's probably Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I don't know, just watching him this year, I love the way he plays. I mean, he's pretty much spot on with every single pass he makes. And he makes some incredible throws. Like, wow. Like, seeing a lot of people wouldn't understand, but seeing it from a quarterback's point of view, it's like, wow, that is a crazy throw. So yeah, I like the way he plays.
No, I truly understand that. There's a lot of Joe Burrows in you, and like you said, a lot of people don't understand. But the kid threw for almost 73% completion rate. It's
Yeah.
hard to do that throwing the ball to your brother in the front yard. So people don't understand just how great of a year he had last year, and he was spot on
Mhm.
in every game, big game or not. And so that's a great role model to look off of. Let's move to you more personally. What do you do? What are your interests outside of when you're getting ready for the season? Do you like to hunt, fish, spend time with the family, like to get on the water at the lake? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Yeah, all the above. I like to hunt. I've been fishing a lot. Uh, Me and my buddies been going to the beach, doing a little bit of surfing. But yeah, we've just been getting out in the sun. And I've been doing a lot of working too. I'm doing a landscape business with a few of my buddies, so we're making a little bit of money for the summer.
Nice. So it sounds like you don't have, my next question usually is what kind of video games, but it sounds like you don't have a lot of time to play video games, Madden or
Yeah,
2K.
every now and then I'll play 2K or Madden at my buddy's house, but other than that, not too much.
Okay. What are some of the favorite apps that you're using on your phone to stay in contact? You an Instagram guy, Twitter, TikTok?
Yeah, I have Instagram and Twitter. I don't really use them that much. I just kind of have them, I guess, just as a platform. But I like to go on YouTube, Netflix a lot, play Clash of Clans. Yeah.
Have you been following some of the new NCAA policies about players being able to take advantage of their own name, image, and likeness? How does that affect you? Or is it something you plan on doing as you start your career, as maybe trying to build up your social brand for down the road after football?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't put too much thought into it. I've never been a huge social media guy, but I mean, it's obviously important. It's necessary for recruiting, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to look into. I've been following it a little bit. I think it's pretty cool that the NCAA is doing that.
Okay. Hey, another big part of being a successful student athlete is overcoming adversity. Tell us a time in your life, either personally or dealing with sports, that you had to overcome some type of adversity.
Well, I'll just say one. Like this year, for instance, in the third game of the season, I had a pretty bad ankle injury. And I've never, in my entire life playing football since I was little, I've never actually been injured. Like I've been hurt, but knowing that I actually couldn't go out into the field and not play in a bunch of district games, that was hard for me. And missed the majority of my junior year. So, but I mean, getting back out there and like every day going to the trainers, rehab, all of that, getting my ankle back as fast as I could so I could get back out in the field. Yeah, that was pretty tough for a little bit there.
Well, I always like to help student athletes understand that if you're going to play this game at a high level, injuries are part of the game, and
Yeah.
how you attack when you're injured, as far as rehab and PT, some of the things you mentioned, is as important as when you're healthy. So it's almost a positive that you had that kind of an experience now,
Mm-hmm.
so that if it happens in college, you know what to do to get back to the field as fast
Yeah.
as you can. So it's actually a positive. Tell me, we fast forward into the fall season here. What are some of your individual goals for the team, and what are your team goals? Have you guys got together to talk about that yet?
Well, I mean, first, the team goal is always to win a state championship or
Sure.
just set the bar higher than we did the year before as much as we can. So, I mean, this year, I haven't really put stats wise, I haven't really thought about it, what my goals are, but I mean, I'm just really my goal is just do whatever I can to help us win.
Okay, I like it. Tell me, when did you start playing the game of football, and then when did you fall in love with the game of football?
I think I started playing in it was either first or second grade, but yeah, I started off playing flag football, and I mean, even before I actually started playing organized football, I've always loved it. It should always been the game I'd put over any other sport. So I mean, I fell in love with football since I was can I before I can even remember, honestly. Yeah, I've ever since.
What, Carter? When did you have that moment when you said, "Hey, I think football is going to help pay for my education"? What year was that? Was it freshman, sophomore year, or younger? When did that happen?
It was probably in middle school where I kind of realized that I'm a little bit better at the game than a lot of the guys around me, and I feel like I have the chance to play at a higher level. I kind of understand the game better. So it's probably in even maybe going into my freshman or sophomore year in high school is when it kind of started to become a reality. Like, oh yeah, maybe I could go play college football.
Okay. Tell these college coaches, how would you describe yourself as a competitor?
I think the one way I describe myself is I'm a winner. I mean, even if I'm not necessarily winning a football game, I have a winner's attitude about it. I can get better from it. And yeah, personally, that's the best thing, I believe. I
Okay.
mean, there's no point getting down as much. Only way to get better is learning from it. So.
Well, you're starting to come out. Obviously, got the first offer yesterday. Your name's starting to get more out there as I talk with coaches. Take this time to shout out some of your teammates who you feel are maybe being under recruited that you think college coaches should get after right now.
Well, two of my buddies on defense, Jabez Hudson or Joseph Meter, also just picked up his first offer last night too. I think those two guys are dudes. And one of my receivers, Cameron De La Pena, he's a slot receiver. He's a sophomore. He's going to be a junior, but I think he's a hell of a player.
Okay. And then lastly, is there a player that you played against where you just went, man, that guy, whether he's a DB or a linebacker or a D lineman, that guy's pretty good. We got to keep an eye on that guy. Is there somebody that impressed you that was an opponent?
Yeah, I think there was one safety from Flower Bluff who I believe was probably one of the best defensive backs I played against this year. His name was Raiden Campbell. Mm-hmm. I played a little bit of 7-on-7 with him, but yeah, I think he's a good player. He's a really good player.
Let's talk about your family a little bit. Tell us about your mom and dad, and are you an only child? Are you the youngest, the oldest? Tell us a little bit about your family dynamics.
Yes, I have one older brother. He lives in Hawaii right now. He's doing military stuff. He's 22. And then I have a younger brother who's 16, or he's about to be 16, and a younger sister who's 14.
Okay. So. And then your mom and dad, ex-athletes, what do they do for a living? What's their role in your life?
Yeah. My mom's a psychiatric nurse, I believe that's what you call it. Yeah, or she's a RN, and she's trying to be a nurse practitioner. That's what I was looking for. Uh-huh. So, and then my dad played a little bit of football at Texas Tech, and then he transferred, I believe his sophomore year or junior year to Kings Point, and he went the military route and he played football there. So he's been in the Navy ever since way before I was born. So okay. Yeah, and he done oil field work.
Okay, all right, it's good. You sound you got some athletes in your background there. Tell me, you've got good size. You're a good athlete. What other sports have you played? Have you had basketball, baseball, lacrosse, soccer? What else do you do besides football?
I've also been playing baseball most of my life too. Yeah, I've always been a pretty big baseball player, baseball guy.
So let me guess, either pitcher or shortstop or both?
Outfielder, actually.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Center field, big arm, what?
Yeah, center field's where I usually play, but I'm play all around if I can need to.
Okay, I like it. Okay. Tell me, coaches will ask you this, but why do you think your game translates to the college level?
I just believe, if it's not the mental side yet, it's the physical side. I believe I can physically compete with a lot of the guys, and I've been getting to know the game better more than I ever have before. I believe I just know the game better than a lot of people, and it will help me compete at the college level.
Okay. Tell us quickly, what do you do to give back to your community? Are you involved in your church, boys and girls clubs? What are you doing to give back to your community?
So what I really do is, so that landscaping business I was talking about earlier, me and my buddies will really try to not necessarily go for individual like houses, like people's houses. We'll try to do like go to businesses and help them out as much as they can, or we'll try to go to people who need it, help them out as much as they can.
Okay. All right. Coaches always want to understand the learning style of their players. Tell these college coaches what type of learning style best fits you. Are you a verbal guy, visual, or physical?
I'm probably a physical learner most, just kind of going through the experience. And I think that's the best way to learn is actually seeing it with your eyes.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's fast forward. You have, 3 or 4 great years in college. You're in New York City at the draft. You're waiting for Commissioner Goodell to call your name. Who's sitting at your table waiting for your name to be called?
Probably just my parents, my whole family. Yeah, my grandparents, all of them.
All right. Well, hey, finishing up here, tell us, let's get to your elevator pitch. Tell these college coaches what they're going to get from you as a player and what you're going to bring to their program.
Well, I think from me, you'll get a winner, or a guy with the winner's attitude, who is with a constructive learning mind, who isn't going to freak out when something goes wrong, stay calm in situations and learn from it. Yeah, so and I think that's probably the most important thing, just having a constructive mindset, constructive learning mindset, and not kind of freaking out when everything's going wrong. And that's something I work on a lot because I think it's a great skill to have.
Okay. Well, great, man. Well, hey, let me tell you, it's been great to get to know you over this last 20 minutes. Look forward to see you play this fall. I'll continue to get your name out there. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and please continue to be safe, and we'll see you during the fall. All right. Thanks, Carter.
Coach, his phone just cut out, just turned off.
Okay. All right, Jay. Tell him I said thank you, and always be good and be safe, okay?
Oh,
there he is.
Thank you for the interview, Coach.
That's all right. So no, what I was saying, Carter, is hey, it's good to meet you. I'm looking forward to seeing you play this fall. Continue to be safe. And if you need anything, you need a reference during the recruiting process, don't hesitate to reach out to me, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day. Be blessed.
You too.